All right, welcome to
There you
Pack
go.
Mates. We're doing the Brothers War Black limited set review. We rate
I'm
everything from
Roby.
0 to 10. I'm your aggro expert, Ryan. That's Roby.
I'm Andrew, mid-range expert.
Roby's the Dirtle expert.
Yeehaw.
He is definitely dirtily enough for the Dirtle Club. All right, first off, we have Astronaut's Intervention. This is a black for an instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this dies or is put into exile from the battlefield. Return to its owner's hand. Good way to get back your unearthed stuff. Good way to kind of skirt evasion, but you have to recast it. I think this is worse than it normally is, where it just comes back. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it a 4.
I give it a 5 because it works with the unknown stuff. It's cute. You're not going to want too many, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine. 5. He works with the prototype stuff too.
Next up, we have Carrion Locust, which is 2 and a black for a 2/1 insect horror with flying. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. If it was a creature, that player loses 1 life. Ah, this is mid. This is like a 5.
This is mid. It's a 4.
Yeah, I think this is pretty mid. I mean, I think you this will be a card you'll think about cutting, but I think the exile on the card is good enough. So 5.
Yeah.
All right, now we have Disfigure, 1 black, instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until the end of turn. The Return of Black Shock, 7.
Didn't you give the white one a 6?
I
That like exiles for the number of planes you have?
Yeah, but this one, man, I don't know. This one just it doesn't take much. It just takes 1 black. The other one takes multiple planes.
And you can help. It can chip away to kill stuff too.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I always feel like if you have 1 black up, this is always a threat.
I'm gonna give this one a 6. I think you're gonna be worried about the biggest shit in this deck, but I think it'll still be good. So 6.
I have it at 7. Premium.
I don't think
Premium
it's
removal.
premium. I don't think it's
Yeah.
premium.
It's good.
Next up, we have Emergency Well. This is colorless and a black for a sorcery. Return target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and make a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. This is card people are going to get twisted because the way they see it, but this card is actually an 8. Card is completely busted. It's a 1/1 that gets you something back for 2 mana. This card's an 8.
I have it at like a 7. I like it a lot.
It's a 7. It's like a Gravedigger for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is insane.
It also gets
Yeah.
the artifact, which is relevant. When they kill your big dumbs, 6 mana blue artifact.
Yeah,
just
you
get it
can
back.
use this to get it. Like
yeah.
you can use.
And you even get a 1/1.
Human.
It's gross. Yeah.
It's a 1. Yeah, if this was just a creature that was like a 1/1 return for 2,
like
you guys would be
the
calling it
most
great.
relevant creature you can have too, right?
Remember,
the
like-
most relevant 1/1.
If this was like a 1/1 draw card, you guys would be calling it 8 for 2. This is 1/1.
Yeah, I would be.
It's better. It's better.
Nah.
Maybe not because you can't really play it on 2. But
No, you'll never play it on 2.
Next up, we have Gix's Caress, which is 2 and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. And then you create a Power Stone token. This is like a 6. I'm going to be playing this.
I won't be playing this. This is a 2 or a 1 for me. I don't think it discards nearly enough cards. I don't know if the Power Stone's worth it.
yeah, this is kind of like when you didn't get enough removal and you're like, oh god, I need to way to deal with their stuff, and so you jam this. I'm at a 4. I don't think you're excited to play it.
So if it's a late game format, I think that card gets way better, right? I'm kind of hedging that it's going to be a more, like people are going to have real powerful cards in their hands.
Yeah, but when you top deck this and like your opponent doesn't have much in their hand, like it's kind of bad. So
Yeah.
like this is like a card for like a late game format, but it's really only good on turns like 3 or 4. It's like you want to make the Power Stone early. You want to make, you want to look at their hand early to disrupt their plan. So like it's really only good in the first 10 cards of your deck. So to me, that's why it's bad.
Next up, we have Gataxian Infiltrator. 1 colorless, 1 black for a creature for Rexian Human. It's a 2/1. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, put a 1/1 counter on Gataxian Infiltrator. This is like a 4. It takes a lot to just get things around it.
Oh my god, sign me up. Whenever you a 2/1 that's you just have to sack stuff and you can sack as much as you want whenever you want and it gets a counter. Obviously, like you have to have an outlet. Obviously, it's built around. With that being said, in the sack deck, this card's going to be absolutely insane. So I'm going to give it a build around 7.
I have like a 5 on this. It's okay. And not deck.
Next up, we have Gixian Skullflayer. This is 2 colors and a black for a creature, Phyrexian human assassin. It's a 2/3, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, it gets a 1/1 counter. It could be a 3/4 for. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to have that go. It reminds me of that one green card from back in the day where if you had like a 4 power or greater, it got 1/1 counter every turn, and that card was insane. You remember what I'm talking about? It was like a 2-drop.
That bug, it was like a
Yeah. I think it's just as easy to have 3 things in your graveyard, if not easier, than it is to have a 4 power creature on the board all the time. So I think this is like a 6 or to 7. Like I think this card's really good. I'll start conservatively at 6.
Oh yeah, I have it at a 6. I like it.
I've got it at a 6 as well.
I think it'll be easy to activate. Next up, we have Killzone Acrobat. 2 and a black for a 3/2 human soldier. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, it gets flying. Pretty ass. I don't like it. It's like a 4. It's like a 3 that gets a +1 because it's a soldier.
Yeah, it's definitely a 3.
Yeah, I mean I think this is like a fine sack outlet in the aggro sack deck. Because you can sack your power stones and stuff. And it's a 3/2 flyer for 3, but it's not the best of anything. So I'll give it a 4, but I think it could be a build around 5, maybe. It could be good in that deck.
All right. Next up, we have Moment of Defiance. 2 colorless, 1 black. It's an instant. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains lifelink until the end of turn. Draw a card. It's one of the weaker like pump spells I've really seen. Yeah, this is like a 3. I don't think I'm really ever playing this.
I think it's a 5. I mean, draw a card attached onto a pump spell is pretty good. If you can out trade and your dude lives and you draw a card, it's kind of a blowout. And you get the life link. Pump spells with life link are traditionally good. Drawing a card is traditionally good. It's a 5, trending towards 6.
I have it at a 4. It just costs too much mana for me to truly consider it.
Next up, we have Overwhelming Remorse. 4 colors and a black for an instant. This spell costs 1 less for each creature card in your graveyard. Exile target creature or planeswalker. This is better than premium removal. This is Path to Exile in black. This is an 8. This card is absolutely insane. Black is loaded with insane commons. This card's nuts. 8.
I have it at a 7, a light 7. I don't think you're gonna cast it for 1 ever, but yeah.
I think you're going to be casting
It's
this
a
for
very
3 and
light
really
7.
enjoying it at 3. And the exiling is going to be real
Yeah.
strong too.
It's premium removal.
Yeah, I mean it
The
can't
worst
be
of
less
it.
than 7. It's a 7. I mean, flat out, and it's probably an 8 when it's lower. When it costs 3, it's probably an 8. It's probably a 9 when it costs 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than murder. It's costing 3 is trivial for this. It's trivial to make this cost 3. Every deck this is just going to cost 3 in a lot of the time.
It's always just gonna be a 1-for-1 that you have to work for, though.
You don't have to work for it. You just put it in the deck because you're going to have bodies.
Yep. Next up, we have Power Stone Fracture. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature, destroy target creature or planeswalker. I have this at like a very heavy 6. This is fine.
Yeah, I also got it at a 6. I think it's just flexible enough.
I mean, I think sacking your power stones to destroy creatures or planeswalkers would feel good. I have it at a 7. I think it's premium.
Yep.
Next up, we have Ravenous Gigamole. 3 colorless, 1 black for a 2/3 creature mole horror. When Ravenous Gigamole enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. You may put a creature from among the milled cards this way into your hand. If you don't, put a 1/1 counter on Ravenous Gigamole. Man, these guys really took a real steep downturn from the white one that just got you a plains. Yeah, I don't know. This 3/4 is not very good. The creature is all right, I guess. I don't know, it's a 5 for me.
Sorry, I think
Get him, Ryan.
I think this is the best one out of all of these.
Really?
You get a creature or a 3/4 for 4, and you want a mill card sometimes anyway. This card is just good. This is like the real Organ Hoarder. Get a creature. This is a 7.
Yeah, I have it at 7.
Oh,
I'm a
man.
huge fan.
Next up, we have Thraxodemon, colorless and a black for a creature demon. It's a 2/2. Pay 3, tap it, sack another creature or artifact, draw a card. This is like for the late game. For any deck that can play it, I think like you're fine sacking your Power Stones to draw a card. I think you're pretty excited to do that. And floor is a 2/2 for 2, which we're down to play. So I'm gonna give it a 5, but I think it could be pretty good.
Yeah, I have it at like a 4. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I think it's a 4.
Next up, we have Trench Stalker, 4 and a black for 4/5 Beast Horror. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, Trench Stalker has Death Touch and Lifelink. I think this is like a okay finisher. I give this like a 6.
I think it's fine. I think it's going to trip more often than not. 5.
Yeah, I think if you trip this thing once, like it's
Yeah,
four
we just
four
gained
life
so much
is so
block.
good.
It's terrible
And
to block.
it's hard to block. Yeah, I think this card's gonna be really good. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 7. But
Yeah.
I'll start with the 6 too.
All right, now we have Clay Revenant for 1 colorless. It's an artifact creature golem. It's a 1/2. Clay Revenant enters the battlefield tapped. And for 2 colorless and a black, return Clay Revenant from your graveyard to your hand. I'm sure this is just a cog in a wheel of some sort. And these traditionally are just kind of that. You have one of them in your deck and it's just kind of there. It's not going to really win you the game. It just kind of keeps things going. It's a 4. It's just connective tissue.
This is the Witch's Oven and the Cat, right? Like this is what you do with
Like
your
the
Power
way
Stones.
worse
This is what you do with
version.
your Power Stones until you actually get the thing you're trying to do with your Power Stones. This just blocks forever, and you just tap your 3 Power Stones and pay it black, and then you just play it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. You're like using your Power Stones to just constantly have a 1/2. I guess it does enter tapped. I think it's at least a 5, but I think this is a like in the late game decks, this is going to be a pretty good card, and in the sack decks, it's going to be a pretty good card.
I think it's like a 5. There's got to be like some loops with it too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
Some
always feel like
real
cards like
gross
that
stuff.
always come up in these sets, and they're just never really played very much. They're always just like, this would be really great in that deck, and then in reality, it's like, oh, it's still just a 1/2 creature.
Yeah, it triggers artifact stuff. That's
Yeah.
what
I just don't know. I just always feel like that's kind of
prowess, and it lets you use your power.
It doesn't
prowess.
trigger prowess.
Doesn't
that's
trigger
a
prowess.
Oh
lie.
yeah, God!
Not
We're looking at
gonna lie.
artifact, and oh man, I'm gonna mess up that so
Yeah.
much. I feel like I'm saying contraptions.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Dredging Claw. This is 2 colors for an artifact equipment. This one does trigger powerless, right?
Yes, it does.
Good. Okay. It's an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has menace. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield from your graveyard, you may attach Dredging Claw to it. Equipped for 1 and a black. This is your kind of unearth payoff. This gives you all your unearth stuff ways to connect. I mean, I think this is going to be really good in the focus on earth deck if that is a thing. I think it's like a build around 6, but I think in general it's going to be kind of bad a 3.
Yeah, I have this at like a 6. I think there's even like a world where you like put this in decks that don't have swamps.
I was going to ask that too. I was wondering
Yeah.
if your unearthed payoffs are that good, is this thing just really worth it?
Yeah, because like it just helps you get your guys in. Gives
Yeah.
them menace. That's good.
I think it's a solid like 4. It's fine. It's never the card that you really want, but it's going to be really cute when it starts working.
Gonna put in a lot of work. This would be more than cute when it works. This is not even. This is
Just
like
menace,
terrifying when it starts working. And I'm milling half your deck and having menace, and you have to block it. Oh my god, disgusting.
Next up, we have Goring Warplow, which is 6 mana for a 5/4. Construct with Death Touch and also prototypes for 1. This is mega cute. I like it. I give it like a 5, maybe a 6.
Yeah, I think it's a 5.
Having
Yeah,
a
two-
1/1 Death Toucher is cute.
For 2, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Colorless in a black for a 1/1 Death Toucher, or 6 mana for a 5/4 Death Toucher.
Yeah.
I think the 5/4 Death Toucher is kind of bad. I mean, it's a 5. Like, you'll play it if you lack finishers.
Yep.
All right, then we have Scrapwork Ravager. Costs 4. Rager. Scrapwork Rager. Costs 4. It's an artifact creature, Phyrexian Horror, 2/2. When Scrapwork Rager enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. And it has Unearth, 3 colorless, and a black. This reminds me of a card we just played.
It is.
It's like Phyrexian Rager. Oh man. And that guy was like a 6 or 7. This is definitely like in that range, and you get 2 of them now. So very nice 7.
Yeah, I think this card's going to be super good in the black deck when you can unearth it. Like, just drawing 2 cards off 1 body and getting 2/2 is going to be nuts.
Yeah, I give it an 8.
Do you
Dude,
play this?
black commons are ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Do you
know,
play
there's
this
some-
without black
there's some
mana in your
good
deck?
Oh, yeah.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
All right, we're on to the uncommons. We have Battlefield Butcher. 2 colorless and a black for a creature human soldier. It's a 1/4. 5 mana and tap it. Each opponent loses 2 life. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each creature card in your graveyard. I think a 1/4 that can just sit back and drain your opponent is going to be very annoying to deal with. It's a 1/4. It blocks really good. I am kind of with it. I think this is a 6.
I think it's a 5. It'll end some games for sure.
I think it's a 5. It'll just end some games as well.
Next up, we have Corrupt, which is 5 and a black, and it for a sorcery, and it deals damage to any target equal to the number of swamps you control. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. This is like a 6. It costs infinite mana.
Ooh, man, if mono's a
Infinite
thing,
mana.
this thing's like a 9. I mean, oh my gosh, this card has been. It's too bad it's just it's a sorcery, but man,
That's
Is it
trifling. That is trifling.
the fact that it can go face and just dome somebody out of the game is really good too. That's like
I
a
didn't think
7.
about that.
Yeah, I'm lower on it. I'm going to give it a 6.
The white one's so much better than this.
Is it? Like the white
Yeah.
one just can't win you the game. Like
The white one costs 1.
It costs 1 mana. This costs a
6.
trillion mana.
and this one is-
Infinity mana.
And it like literally kind of does the same thing a white one does. Like if you have 4 swamps, it kills a 4/4.
yeah, but then
Yeah.
you gain 4. Then you gain 4 life.
That's true.
That's
For
a big
6.
swing, man.
And
That's a-
sorcery.
You're gaining 4 life, right? But you also have 5 mana to drop a 5-drop,
Yeah.
which is gonna win you the game more than like
The 4 life.
Or your opponent's
Four
at 4
life,
and you just
yeah.
build them for 4.
Yeah, this is a 5. This card's not very good.
Wow.
yeah,
All right.
I'm
I
down.
can't wait.
Yeah,
I
You're
can't
down
wait
to
do
5?
all of
I'm
these.
down to 5.
Come down with me.
I'm
5.
coming down. Yeah,
This is
I
a hot
hate it.
take. I know. People
I
love
hate
this
it.
card. They're wrong.
Just take your
This
hat
is
off.
old school stuff. This is boomer shit. You're wrong.
Yeah.
The
Boomer
card
shit.
We
is
don't just have
bad.
like 9. We don't just have like 15 fucking swamps in our decks anymore.
Yeah, and like 20 turns to play Magic.
I'll tell you
Like,
right
that's-
now, if I see 2 of these, I'm going mono black and I'm winning that draft.
No.
Oh yeah.
Nope. You're gonna be too busy playing the stupid ass enchantment that returns shit to your hand. This would be good in a mono black deck. This would be nuts. This is like Gray Merchant of Asphodel in a mono black deck.
No, that is stupid.
That card's still better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that card's way better.
Way better. You're right. Yeah.
Creature too. Oh man, y'all gotta feel this power of corrupt.
Teach me, Daddy.
Will do.
Oh God.
Oh God, is it my turn? I think it is.
Yeah.
Disciples of Gix. 4 colorless, double black for a 4/4 creature for Rexian human. When Disciples of Gix enter the battlefield, search your library for up to 3 artifact cards, put them into your graveyard, then shuffle. Yeah, nope, I'm not buying it. 4.
This is the Reanimator deck. This is one of the payoffs. The Reanimator deck's the real deal. It does hinge around uncommons. I think it's going to be good. I'm going to give this a build around 6. No, build around 7. Build around 7. I think in most decks it will be a 4, though. I think it's going to be bad in general.
I think it's just too slow.
Yep.
I give it like a 4.
If you've ever played Reanimator, you know that you need to the spells that enable the reanimation or
have to be cheaper.
Have to be cheaper than the reanimation spell.
But we haven't had 10 mana commons in Reanimator decks before.
Man, no, I think anything that just like you'd sooner coerce yourself with that one card. I don't even know if it can hit yourself, but you just make yourself discard and then reanimate on 4 or 5.
Yeah, that might be better. What about Unearthed Dude? So you can just put in your graveyard for free.
I don't even know if that's worthwhile either. Because, like, wouldn't you rather just draw the Unearthed guys, play them, and then just get their full value instead of getting half the value?
Maybe, but like, you're probably not going to do that by 6. Like, by 6, a lot of those Unearthed guys are kind of outpaced. I don't know. This card, yeah, I can see it being bad, but I'm going to be optimistic on it.
Okay.
Next, we have Dreams of Steel and Oil. This is 1 black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand, choose an artifact or creature card from it. Then choose an artifact or creature card from their graveyard and exile the chosen cards. This card is very good. This is like Divest, but it also exiles from their graveyard, and it exiles both of them. They don't discard it, it exiles them. It's like a 7.
I have it at 6.
I have it
Don't
at
run
6.
Don't run it. Next up, we have Gnawing Vermin, which is 1 black mana for a 1/1 rat. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target player mills 2 cards. Whenever it dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1 until end of turn. I'm about it. It's like a 6 for me. It's cute. Does a lot of dumb, cute things.
Yeah, this is just a 4. It's not killing anything.
Trades with a 2/2. What do you mean it doesn't kill anything?
It mills you 2 cards.
Yeah.
It's a 5. Good. It's a 5. It's decent.
All right, then we have Go for the Throat. 1 colorless, 1 black for an instant. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Premium removal as premium removal can get. Unfortunately, as an artifact set, I ding it a little bit. It's a 6 for me, but it's...
You cut out, but it's what? It's a 6, but
it would normally be like a 7 if this wasn't an artifact set.
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable still giving it a 7. I think there's enough non-artifact stuff that you want to kill.
Yeah, I'm still at a 7 on it because like you're gonna need to kill a Urza or some dumb shit. Like this is good.
Next up, we have Gruesome Realization. This is a colorless double black for a sorcery. Choose 1. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life, or creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. The fact that this is a sorcery kind of makes this card bad. -1/-1 doesn't seem like enough to me. Drawing 2 cards and losing 2 life for 3 doesn't seem like enough to me. It's somewhat versatile. I don't think that really saves it. I'm going to give it a 4.
I'm at 4 on it too.
I'm probably at a 5. There's a lot of soldier tokens running around here where this is pretty good and it's versatile enough.
Next up, we have Gurgling Annoyer, which is 2 and a black for a 1/3 Phyrexian Horror with flying. Whenever you draw your second card, each turn put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever it dies, return another target creature with mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a disgusting bomb. This is an 8. This is like Fairy Vandal on crack. Like,
I think this takes a lot of work to get going. I think it's not going to go as fast as you want. It's cool that it's it does get you there sort of with the Fairy Vandal kind of stuff.
yeah.
Not having flash, it's got a little bit higher. I don't know. For me, it's not going fast enough for me. It's a 6.
This is a house if it gets 1 counter. A 2/4 for 3 flyer is a house. A 3/5 flyer for 3 is disgusting. That returns a 3-drop. Disgusting. To the battlefield. This is an 8. This is an 8.
To the battlefield.
To the battlefield. That's super real.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty random. That's pretty good. Yeah. No one left behind. 4 colorless, a black sorcery. This spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature with mana value 3 or less. And it is return target creature card from a graveyard to the battlefield. So here's your raised dead.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, it's just going to be good in this set. They've really geared this set with all the self mill, with all the blueprint creatures, or the prototype creatures, all that unearth. I think this is going to be really good. Very strong. It's going to be a 6.
Yeah, I'm at 7. I would have a hard time taking, I would be torn between this and premium removal pack one, pick one.
Yeah, I have this at 6. It gets that gurgling anointer for 2, which is really sick. That's so tight.
I mean, getting 3 drops for 2 just makes this card so
Yeah.
much better, too.
Yeah.
The best raised dead we've seen, right?
There's some good 3 drops. Yeah.
Yep. Next up, we have Thran Vigil. This is a colorless and a black for an enchantment. Whenever one or more artifact and or creature cards leave your graveyard during your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. This is like a build around the unearth type thing. I don't think it's crazy good though. I feel like I'd rather have the Menace Sword. I'm gonna give this a 4.
Yeah, I have it at a 4. Seems pretty mid.
It's probably a 3. I mean, it's going to take a lot to get this thing going. And it just does nothing when it comes into play.
Next up, we have Astronaut Harvester, which is 2 mana for a 3/1 construct. Whenever it attacks, exile a target card from a graveyard. Unearth for 1 and a black. Yeah, this is like a 6. I love me 3/1s for 2.
Yeah,
We don't get colorless 3/1s for 2.
It's
Yeah.
solid, and it
Either.
starts hitting the graveyard immediately too, which is really nice. You want to start chipping that away really quickly here. It looks like.
Yeah, Roby, you missed the last podcast. We talked about this card too, and I said blind this was going to be one of the better 2-drops in the format.
It's
I think
good.
I think it's really good.
I don't
Colorless
think
I
it's,
think
I don't
actually
think it's
the best.
better, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Transmogrant Altar. 3 colorless for an artifact. It's 1 black. Tap, sacrifice creature, get 3 colorless mana. Or for 2, you can sacrifice a creature and create a 3/3 zombie artifact creature. Activate only as a sorcery, though. This is going to boost you to all those real big payoffs and those 9s and 8s that are probably going to be in your deck. It's probably worth it with all the unearthed guys as well. I think it's pretty nice. It's pretty much just like a solid 6.
Yeah, I think I'm at 7 with it. I think you want it in the Unearthed deck, you want it in the Sack deck, you want it in the Power Stone deck. I don't know if there's a black deck that you don't want it in. I think it's going to be good.
I think it's a trap. I think it's like a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let you have
It's
your
just
moment.
so slow. It's so slow.
Oh, it's not. You can use Power Stones. It only costs 3 and then 2 to tap stuff. 2 to turn stuff into 3/3s. Oh, we're on to the rares. We have Ashnod Flesh Mechanist. This is 1 black for a legendary creature, human artificer, 1/1. Has Death Touch. Whenever Ashnod Flesh Mechanist attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone token. You can pay 5, exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a tapped 3/3 colorless zombie token. 1/1 Death Touch. It does have to attack. That feels kind of like a big drawback. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah, I have it at like a 6. I might be a little high. It might be a 5, but
I think the 5 mana exiling cards for
yeah,
making 3/3s is really
that's
good.
cool.
Yeah, this is probably it's probably a 5. It's a 5. Well, it's a 6, probably just because of Death Touch.
Next up, we have Diabolic Intent, which is 1 black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, search a library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. This is kind of like a trap a little bit, but it still gets you any card you want. It's probably like a 5, maybe a 4.
Yeah, I think it's worth the sacrificing a token or whatever it is to get whatever in your deck, or it's going to be the best card always, right? And it just makes it tax for 2 more. Yeah,
And sacking a creature.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. It's probably like a 6.
Yeah, I think I'm at 5, leaning towards 4. I do think this card you'll just draft because it's probably worth a little bit.
Yeah, rare draft 10.
Yeah.
Hateful Handoff, 3 colorless, 1 black for a sorcery. Draw cards equal to the mana value of target artifact or creature you control. An opponent gains control of that permanent. Oh man. Oh man, this is gonna lead to some really funny games. I don't know how good this is. I think it's a 5. Just I can't really place it where it really should land. I think it's a 5.
Yeah, it's a weird card. It's a real weird card. Like you can just swing with something though. Like your 6/6 for 6. And then draw 6 cards and give it to your opponent. No, then it'll untap. Yeah, no. I don't know. This is probably bad. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah,
No, because like if you give him a 2-drop and you draw 2 cards, is that fine?
for 4 mana.
Yeah, that's not even that good. You're right.
You give your
You're
opponent
right.
your 2-drop?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
If you had
This
some
card's
really
complete
funky
ass.
artifact or something like that to give them and just like draw 5 cards, that's probably really good.
What if I give him my Howling Mine?
That's good.
That's good.
That's
Your
good.
Mesmeric Orb? Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, those are.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many things that the upside is so funny with this card. Just how you build your deck with this thing. It could be it could be anywhere from like a 1 to a 10, right? Like you're just drawing 8 cards and giving them a nothing card.
Yeah, I give this card like a 1. It's like the biggest trap I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, it's so terrible. But if the enchantment removal is good,
Yeah, that's
then
true. You can give
this
an
is
enchantment.
good. If you give them something that they have, like you can sideboard this in if they have a bunch of
Like
ones.
how good is this when you give them the O-ring?
Right.
Yeah,
that's
when you
good.
give them the creature that's been O-ringed,
Yeah.
or like the
Or
I
pacified.
guess you could give them your O-ring. Yeah,
You can give him your pacified creature too.
I mean,
yeah,
this seems
pacified. That's what I was talking about, right? Like,
Man, I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
you can just hand him off your O-ring.
This feels like a really skilly card. Like if you're
I'm
really
gonna play this.
What
at some
about with your
point.
unearthed shit?
Ass.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, if you can unearth, like if you get the guy that lets you get like the unearth things for 3 mana, and you bring back like a 10/10, okay, and then you give it to your opponent,
Or you just
and
unearth
you
any
get to
random
draw 10
thing.
cards.
You unearth something, you swing with it, and then you give it to your opponent, and then they have to sack it at the end of the turn. Like
Yeah,
this
that's
goes in the unearthed.
terrible.
This goes in the unearthed thing.
This card,
Super
It only
niche.
costs like 9,000 mana, but
Yeah, with power stones and
With
stupid
power,
shit.
we have power
Yeah.
stones, so it's
Yeah, to cast out. You need the power stones to cast your other stuff, and then you need your mana to cast this.
yeah.
It's real cute. Next up, we have Gix Yawgmoth Praetor. This is a colorless double black for a legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor. It's a 3/3. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, draw a card. You can also pay 4 and triple black to discard X cards. Exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells from among exiled cards this way without paying their mana cost. Now, this is some free casting I'm into because I can use my power stones to buff this up to pay 4 of that 7 mana. this is what I want to do. I do have to discard cards to do it though, but dealing damage and drawing cards seems so good. This card just seems busted. It's a 10.
I give it like a 9. Just for the drawing cards. I don't think like discarding cards. That's gonna be like a super hit or miss thing. But yeah.
I think
You cut out.
I think if you just activate this 1 or 2 times, man, this guy is really good. It gets you the cards immediately. You play it pre-combat. Ah, man, what a 10. What a 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think you play this
It
guy
can
and
draw
then you
you,
draw
like-
2 cards right off the bat. Like right
Yeah.
after you play him.
I have him at 9.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next up, we have Gix's Command. 3 double black for a sorcery. Choose 2. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 creature. It gains lifelink until end of turn. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. This is like a 8. It just does a lot of stuff.
It's got a lot of text.
Yep.
It's got to be good.
Got good text. It's got the good text I like to
It's
read.
got some really good stuff going on to it, and it returns some creature cards. You get all kinds of value from this thing. Yeah, it's an 8.
Yep. 3-for-1s are good.
Yep.
Breaking news.
Next, we have Gataxian Puppeteer. 3 colorless, a black for a 4/3 creature for Rexian Warlock. Whenever you draw your second card of each turn, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. When Gataxian Puppeteer dies, return another target creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is quite good. I think just draining them, then getting them back. I mean, this card's just putting pressure on every step that it's around. It's easily like a 7, 8, 7, 7.5, 7.
It's an 8. Yeah. I mean, it's a 4/3. It replaces itself and it drains. It's just super good.
Yeah, I have an 8. I love it.
Next up, we have Hostile Negotiations. This is 3 colors and a black for an instant. Exile the top 3 cards of your library in a face-down pile. Then exile the top 3 cards of your library in another face-down pile. Look at the cards in each pile, then turn a pile of your choice face up. An opponent chooses one of those piles, either the face-up or the face-down pile. Put that pile in your hand, and then in your graveyard, you lose 3 life. So 4 mana, draw 3, lose 3 life. Kind of like Fact or Fiction-y, whatever. Instant. I'm down for it. It's a 7.
I have this at a 5. It's got too much text. But I do like how you can just disrupt a game so aggressively with the most random card. Like right in the middle. It's an instant, so you can just do this in like the middle of combat and just confuse the shit out of your opponent.
Like they cast their 10 mana
Yeah.
spell, and you're like, hold up, Hostile Negotiations.
Like they're attacking, and you're like, wait
Yeah.
up. Before combat, I wanted to cast this Hostile Negotiations. Yeah, I hate it. I don't like it. It's too much text.
6 cards is a lot, too. I don't know. I think it's probably like a 6.
Next up, we have Misery Shadow, which is 2 mana for one black and a black for a 2/2 shade. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead, and it's got for 1 mana, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This is gross. This is real good. I'm a fan. Sign me up. It's like a 7, maybe even an 8. Get like the graveyard hate is super real. These cards always are super annoying to play.
This is the 2-drop. This is the creature for 3 or less you want to be returning from your graveyard all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this guy's trading with everything, and it's just, what a beast. And just passively, random, staple, graveyard hate there, too. I mean, my
Yeah.
goodness.
It's real good.
Yeah, this is real strong. It's probably an 8, honestly. to
Yeah,
me.
I think it's an 8. Too.
Normally,
It might
these
be
kind of
an
creatures have a black mana in that activation cost, and this is pretty cool that it's you can activate it with a Power Stone, which is
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to take this over removal ever.
oh yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
an 8.
Next up, we have Painful Quandary. 3 colorless, double black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. This is pretty good. It's a good game ender, right? I mean, it's just a solid 7. It's a very painful choice.
Yeah, it's super oppressive. It's so oppressive. It might even be better than a 7, but I'm down to start it off at a 7.
I have this at a 9. I think this is even really good when you're behind. Right? Like this helps like you stabilize so hard.
I don't know about
Because
behind.
like if
I just don't play anything, right? Like, it's like because they're already beating.
yeah, but like it helps you claw your way back. I think this card's gross. I think it's a 9.
Yeah, I think if you ever have parity with somebody, this is just a backbreaking. And if you're already winning, I mean, that's it. They might as well pack it in when they see this.
Next up, we have Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. This is a 7 mana artifact creature, Phyrexian Worm. And all 7 mana is colorless. It's a 7/5. It also has Prototype for 1 and a double black to make it a 3/3. Menace lifelink and ward, they have to pay life equal to its power. 3/3 Menace lifelink for 3 is insane. A 7/5 Menace lifelink for 7 is even more insane. If you ever gain 7 life off this, it's going to be crazy. And then they have to pay 7 to deal with it. Oh my god. This is an 8, maybe even a 9. This is a 9.
Does ward work with lifelink?
What do you mean?
Hmm?
Like, does the creature deal the damage to it? Would you get lifelink damage?
No, because they pay life. No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is like a 9. No, this card's a bomb. Yeah.
That would be insane, though.
Yeah, this card.
That would be real cute.
Yeah, this card's a 9 easily.
Imagine, like, they try to kill this and you just giants growth it and they can't afford to pay the life.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they do pay the life and then you give it indestructible. Oh my god.
Brutal.
Next up, we have Razor Last Transmogrant, which is 2 mana for a 3/1 artifact zombie. It can't block. You can pay 6 mana. Return it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. This ability costs 4 less to activate if the opponent controls 4 or more non-basic lands. This is scrap heap scrounger. This is a bomb. This is like a 7, maybe even an 8. Hard
This is
to
it.
deal with.
I don't know. I feel like it's more like a 6. I don't know. Scrappy Scrounger seemed a lot better than this, right?
No, this is
This is a
bigger.
4. It can't
comes back
block.
bigger.
You can't block and it costs
You're not
6.
blocking with this. You're swinging in with it.
Yeah, because you can't.
If it
6
Yeah, I
mana
guess-
to bring it back?
I guess
Yeah.
like the opponent having 4 more. I read it as basic lands.
Oh, no, it's not
Yeah,
basic. That's
yeah.
never going to happen.
Yeah.
This card's really bad. It just doesn't.
That's so good.
If this was in Dominaria United, it would have been busted.
Woo!
Use your power stones, bro.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, you can't use your power stones. That
Hey,
ain't no joke.
yeah, that's always the good backup power.
But then it
stone.
can't block. I don't know. It's
Nah,
not. It's a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, I give it like a 6. I'll give it a 6. I'm still gonna play it.
Transmogrant's Crown, 2 colorless for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw a card, and it equips for 2 colorless or a black. So this is in the same vein as our good friend Skullclamp, which was banned in almost every format it was in at the time. And this, it's kind of like a nice spiritual successor to it, but it just kind of misses the mark, not having the minus power or the minus toughness on this. It's really hard to enable this. So, but it's going to be good. And it's probably going to be a 7.
I'm at 8. I think this card's going to be super good. Drawing cards when your stuff dies and giving it +2/+0 for 1. Sign me up.
Yeah, I give this an 8. It's just so cheap to equip too, and like you could even just put this in any deck, right?
Yeah,
like,
it goes
it's
anywhere.
good. Yeah,
Like, I guess you just play this all the time, right? Like, there's no cutting this card, right?
yeah,
Right. It's just
This is a
nice
super
if you're
good
black,
first
but it doesn't even
personal
have to
card.
be in black. Yeah.
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 Hey,
Wow, that was a good one. 45.
Hell yeah.
hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it.